Hey guys, Fusebox back on Raid Shadow Legends, and if we're going to go over these sets, we've got to go over Stone Skin. It's amazing, and I'm kind of scared that a lot of people might not be using it because they think they don't have good gear. Well, honestly, it doesn't take much to get a lot of use out of it, so there's pros and there's cons. One thing I like to do on these sets is talk about cleansing, and the truth is, some really bad pieces can be very useful in Stone Skin.
I've seen the video. It's horrible.
So it's hard to talk about what skills and actual substats you're looking for because honestly, it doesn't take much to get a good set. You do want to, as you accrue more and more of this gear, you're just going to want to be pickier and pickier. But there are damage dealers you're going to want to put this on. There are support champions you're going to want to put this on. And most importantly, I seem to be getting the most luck out of it on heroes that have amazing passives that protect your team. So really, it's hard to say. You're looking for a lot of defensive stats. And funny enough, the majority of the time, you're not looking for speed. You're normally trying to find speed rolls. And in this gear, you don't necessarily have to have it, though it can be useful. So because anybody could possibly in some way benefit from using this unique set, it's kind of hard to talk about cleansing. So we'll look at what we're using as we go so you can use your own, depending on what you have, what you actually want to use. It's really difficult to say what you want to sell, but as you get better and better gear, you can start selling the obviously less useful pieces. That's the best advice I can honestly give you. So we're going to start with using the set. You know what? Let's talk about it and what it does. Interestingly enough, 2 pieces is actually as good or better than getting 2 pieces of resist gear. So if you're trying to build a support champion with high resist, 2 pieces of Stone Skin is not going to give you the buff, but it is going to give you 40 resistance, just like the other one, plus a little extra HP. So as a broken, just a filler set, you can put 2 pieces on anybody and you can benefit from that. I have several champions wearing 2 pieces just because it boosted my resist and HP. So that's already good. And you can see as you go higher, you get more and more defense, more and more stats, but eventually it's all about Stone Skin. You can either wear 4 pieces for 1 turn or 6 pieces for 2 turns. Now, what does the actual buff do? You take 85% less damage from all incoming damage. When Stone Skin goes on,
Did I stutter?
it gets rid of any buffs on you, basically cleanses you, and then makes you invulnerable to any debuffs except for bombs. You can't have your turn meter ripped down while you're wearing Stone Skin. You'll take very little damage. Now the negatives, bombs do 400% damage to it. So a big warning, using someone like Cardinal, you see those teams, you almost always know they're in Stone Skin. And if you make that your defense team, people are going to come at you with bombs. So just kind of be wary of that. There is a 50% chance of removing this, no matter how good you're geared. If somebody, you can still resist this, but if you're just putting somebody in Stone Skin, along comes Madame Seris. She has a 50% chance of stealing it, so keep that in mind as well, or removing it either way. And then one more negative is if you're doing a really weak build, we'll look at my Cardinal. Speaking of weak builds, when it comes down to it, if the enemy can do 50% of your max HP, so let's call this 50,000, if they can do 25,000 damage, through the 85% damage mitigation and depending on my defense stats and all that, it will destroy the set. It will disappear. So there are ways to negate it, but if you have decent defense and decent HP, that's probably not going to happen. So the reason Ultimate Death Knight is, this is my favorite set on him. I've tried so many different things, and this is definitely where I landed because of this passive, right? He takes the damage for anybody else when on a single target damage. So I just want him kind of hanging out, moving super slow. I wouldn't even mind him being slower, to be honest. Decent defense, decent HP, decent resistance. That's mainly for Hydra use because he's going to last longer than 2 rounds, of course. But all he has to do is sit on the team and soak up damage. So we'll throw him in the arena, which is where Stone Skin shines the most, though it could be very crucial for your faction wars, getting you through a tough boss. So remember that. And this is okay gear. I mean, what I'm wearing now is like okay gear. I've got HP boots with some, I actually don't want the speed, but at least he's moving now. I'm looking for defense on everything and HP, right? defense, HP, and resistance because of the build I'm using. And he does need some accuracy every now and then. His abilities are pretty nice. So you can see this is not amazing gear by any means. It's just the pieces that I landed with, right? So it doesn't take really amazing gear to get use out of this stuff. So we're going to look at him in arena, protecting a team, soaking up all the single target hits. Another hero that we're going to try out. I have not geared her for action yet. I just got done building her out. She is booked. So I've got Cleoptrix. For now, we're going to test her in a Stone Skin set. I would like to say, you're going to do better in Stone Skin. My dog just tapped my tablet and logged me in. Sorry about that. Your damage dealers that actually can ignore natively through their passive abilities or their actual abilities that can ignore damage are going to benefit more from this, because wearing 4 pieces for at least 1 turn of protection means you cannot wear that savage gear. So you definitely want to think about that. But we're going to try it out on a regular damage dealer. So that's why I say it's hard to determine what pieces to keep and what pieces to sell. Let me get back to Cleoptrix, because, you know, I'm using pieces with crit damage and crit rate and attack, right? We've got her. It's not a super strong build, and unfortunately, I cannot wear Savage, so it's not going to be what you typically want in arena. But heroes like Mortu Macabre, you've seen, I'm sure, or heroes that get tons of counterattacks. You've seen the Cupidus, Venus teams are amazing in Stone Skin, because they're holding on to their Stone Skin, barely taking moves, but getting abilities through counterattacks, or in Mortu's case, just waiting to use that one ability that ignores everything. But in this case, we're going to take a regular damage dealer, 5,000 attack, decent crit damage, 280, and moving at normal nuke speed, but it's going to be the ability to protect her without all the normal Ghost Second protections that we're looking for. And then we were talking the other day about Ghost Second teams. I was telling somebody how amazing Sandlash Survivor's passive is. Well, mine's not even built, and to show how good it is, I threw her in a ridiculously horrible set of Stone Skin, and I mean crit rate gloves, don't even need those. Barely got enough defense and HP to even survive, but because she's in Stone Skin, we can get her passive off, putting out ally protection and no damage on her, even though she's not built out. 3 ascensions, level 50. That's how amazing it is, and we will attempt to use Cardinal. I'm not suggesting that you leave her at 440 or don't bother building her, and these are horrible, horrible pieces of gear. Just horrible pieces of gear. But even though she stands the risk, so we're going to bring protection, no defense, very low HP because she's not rolled up. She definitely stands the risk of being out damaged to where it just negates it. So we'll bring the crit and show how you can use her. Basically, let's go have some fun with Stone Skin. Okay, things to watch out for. If we go against Madame Cirrus, we have a 50-50 shot of being destroyed, right? She might remove it off of us, and then it's like it's not even there. So to try that out, let's go up against this Madame Cirrus team. Let's take Cleoptrix and give her just normal basic protections instead of anything amazing, and let the Stone Skin get her to her ability, and we will see. We'll see the 50% chance of this working or not. So what we're going to do is let them go first, right? We're going to add some speed with our aura, but we're going to let them go first. And all we want is for her to survive 1 round. This allows us to do 2 things. If she can survive the oncoming onslaught, basically from him, we're probably going to want to cleanse now that I'm looking at it. So let's change this into, we can just take Mithrala. We're going to want to cleanse. We're probably going to take that stun. And we can start setting up shields. If she survives that first round because she's not in Savage, I don't know, will she wipe the whole team? So let's just go in, watch the onslaught, watch how she's protected almost exclusively. We don't have any bolster set going on or anything. We will be able to put up a shield if we can just survive this first round, and it's looking totally solid right now. So the cleanse probably will be beneficial. We'll get a small shield. And now that we've gotten our turn, we can protect her for the oncoming rounds if she doesn't one-shot them, because it's not a super strong build, right? And we're going to just go for a big hit, and it should be pretty easy to clean up. We'll get counterattacks off of her. Let's see. Yeah, let's just go for the kill. So without bringing in the bolster set, the shield set, Necret, all those things, we are able to go ahead. We can hit auto, I'm quite sure. Just make sure that we're killing her. We're making sure that she stays alive at least for 1 round with 4 pieces to get her job done. definitely cool. I would like a stronger set, but the problem is, again, if you have somebody that natively can ignore some defense, it's going to work out better for you because you can nuke a lot harder when you're ignoring defense. Okay, so here's what we're going to do with the weak Cardinal build. Basically, she's just going to revive, and when we revive, we're going to let them kill us. Plan is to debuff, let Trunda just take them out, but we are bringing Nukret. I'm cheating with Nukret because she does not have the ability to completely take a full blender team, which is what we're up against. She can't take that to the face with just the stone skin, but the stone skin, while protected by Nukret, will make sure we get through this. So this will show how it works, and all we would need is to roll up her gear and level her up a little bit. So we got the stone skin on. No one's here to actually remove it, so we're not worried about that. That means she will stay alive until she gets a revive. Now that she gets a revive, everyone's going to come back to life, use the abilities we told them to use first, debuff. Nukret's just doing his thing, and then we finally get Trunda in with her big slam if we don't do any more counterattacks, which will mess us up. So now we just got to get through that, and it's over. So maybe not the cleanest fight ever, but she's level 440, so I think you get the idea. Now let's check out if we got anybody. Do we have like a Rhodos or a Mountain King to go up against? We really want to find a hard-hitting, there we go, Rhodos. So now we're going to go ahead and try out what I call the slow knight. My team using the stone skin on a very slow ultimate death knight. Basically, the only real threat we have here. Now, Herndig, I think we can eat that with our bolster set. Then our main threat is going to be coming from Rhodos. Everything he does is going to go to my slow death knight who stays hidden underneath that nice stone skin buff, right? Basically, no damage coming in at all. And what we really, well, they've already taken him out, which is cool. We just want to make sure to kill her as soon as we can so the revives don't keep coming in. And now we just go through it again. Still, we're under the stone skin buff because he's nice and slow. He's about to get his extra turn, but we've had time to set up with continuous heals, protections, increased defense. So now, once we're done with the stone skin, we're still protected because we had time to set our team up. Absolutely great. We probably want to make sure we kill this other revive as soon as we get the chance anyway. They got a pretty decent team here, so this might go round and round a couple of times. But now, like I say, now the stone skin's gone, we're keeping him healed up. We've got somebody who can revive it if we need to. And the slow knight team prevails one more time. So we've looked at using it on a nuker. Semi-nuker anyway, quasi-nuker. We've looked at using the Cardinal type teams on a totally weak build. Now let's do Sandlash Survivor. So basically we just want to bring in a cleanse in case we do get the stun, and then we just bring one of our nukers in. Sandlash Survivor is going to protect everyone automatically when anyone takes big hit. I've got a really squishy Seeker who should take a big hit to trigger that. She will be alive and survive that because we have her in stone skin. A really weak stone skin is good enough. When Seeker takes a hit, he'll increase my defense, and then I'll be able to cleanse. We do have a small bolster in this, and then my nuker finally gets a turn. We're just protecting him with a passive hidden underneath stone skin for 2 long turns. So here comes the onslaught. We take the big hit. Seeker goes down, but he increases our defense, making everything work out great. Now we should, now we're still, that's the whole job done. Job done. Now we just go in, try to get the kill. Super effective. You gotta love it. Stone skin can change your account. We don't have to drag it out. Unfortunately, the hardest part is the part I like going over. How are you going to cleanse this actual? It's going to depend on your actual gear. You're getting it weekly. It shouldn't take long to the point you can at least sell the flat stats and stuff. But the gear that I'm wearing on these heroes is horribad, right? Horribad. All you need are defensive stats. Most of the time, you don't even need the speed. There might be some exceptions, but you do want damage pieces for a couple of damage dealers. You do want a lot of protective gear with resistance. That way, if the fight drags on longer, you're still protected. But most importantly, defense and HP. You're looking for big defense and HP rolls. You might need some accuracy depending on who you're using for the stone skin set, but don't sit on it. You could use really bad gear and get away with murder. So definitely jump into Arena, up your game when it comes to like 3v3 on them go second teams. I only use one team that goes fast. That's it anymore. I basically am loving these go second teams. Maybe this will help you out, but Stone Skin is not something you want to sit on. Be rolling some of it up, throwing it on some of these heroes, and until next time, enjoy the grind.